In this tutorial, we're going to learn how to build a text to audio converter on AWS. At the end of the video, you learn how to use services like AWS Lambda, S3, API gateways, Poly, and some few other services. Let's dive right into it. I will quickly jump and then we will discuss our architecture diagram. So, as I indicated, it's a very simple application. And then we have our front-end component of the application, which is going to be hosted on S3. And then in the backend, we have some API gateways and some few lambdas. So basically what happens is when a user uploads something to our front end, it's being stored in an S3 bucket. And then we have a lambda doing a processing. And basically what the lambda will do is the lambda using Amazon Poly will convert it from text into an MP3 file. And once everything is done, it will send it through an email, and then you're going to use Amazon SES for that. So I'll quickly start with the implementation. Alright, we are going to start by creating our first S3 bucket. So basically this is going to be a storage solution. That's where we are going to store our uploaded text and then PDF files. So I'm going to quickly create a bucket and then name it test to audio uploads, and then let me add my name. That's one. Please always remember your S3 bucket has to be globally unique, so you can't use the same name. Just put your name there or put any other thing there, but the bucket has to be globally unique. You are going to leave everything as default. You are going to block public access. You are not going to enable version for this project. And then I'll proceed to create my bucket. So as the bucket is creating, we will proceed to create our first Lambda function. So basically, all the code for this project is going to be in Python. I'll do also leave a link to the code base in the video description below. So don't worry, I'll provide you access to that. I'm going to call this Lambda generate upload URL. So let me download generate test. Oops. Come on, man. Generate test upload URL. As I said, the language is going to be in Python. So you come to your runtime and then I'm going to select Python 3.13. And I'm going to leave everything as default for now. So I'll proceed to create my first Lambda function. So what this Lambda function is going to do is, this Lambda function basically is going to generate a pre-signed URL. That is when someone wants to upload a file to our S3 bucket through our UI, right? This Lambda will generate a pre-signed URL so that people can upload files into the bucket securely. Remember, when we were creating the bucket, we ensured that we had blocked public access to the bucket, right? If you remember this place, we did not enable it, so no one can access our bucket. So for us to be able to upload stuff securely into our bucket, we will just have to generate a pre-signed URL and then do that. And this Lambda is going to do that. So the code for this Lambda is pretty much simple. As I said, don't worry, I'll do all to provide you a link to that code. Yes. So now, so this is my Lambda code. We just have to make some slight changes. So I'll start by doing that. I have a couple of environment variables that I have to declare. So I have this bucket name. So what I'll do is you go to configuration and then you come to environment variables and then you can edit that. So I'm going to add this and then I'll pick the name of my bucket, right? So this is the name and I'll paste it in here as the value. Yes. So I'm going to save it. So now I've set the environment variable for this. And then for now, I'm going to come to the configuration and then change the timeout. So I just want to change it to say a minute. so that our Lambda doesn't time out when we are trying to generate a pre-sign URL or anything. Yeah, so we will come back and then work on the permissions later if need be. Yes, I'll proceed to create my second Lambda function. So I'll come to Lambda functions and then I'll create it. So this Lambda function is going to be called convert text to audio. So basically, this Lambda is also going to be in Python. Always remember, our Lambda function for the project is always going to be in Python. So what this Lambda function is going to do is, this Lambda function will basically do the conversion, right, from the text to audio using poly, and then also the same Lambda function is going to send our email through SES. I'll do all to give you this Lambda code also. It's a very simple code. Basically, all that we're doing here is we are just setting a couple of environment variables, which we'll do shortly, and then we are sending our email using the send email API, and then we are kind of generating the text to audio, that is using poly. So that's pretty much it, all that this Lambda is doing. So you can take your time and go through it. But I have to set a couple of environment variables. Yeah, you can always pass them by default, but it's not best practice to have them in here. So I'm just going to remove them from my code itself. And then I'll set them as environment variables properly. Yes, so now, just as we did the last time, I'll go to configuration, and then I'll edit, and then I'll add an environment variable bucket name for this. And I have another one. I think the other one is send email. Then we come in here. So this is our bucket name. I'll grab that real quick. I want you guys to see this thing step by step. We'll go through the debugging process if there are errors and everything together, so that you appreciate what you're doing the more. So for the purpose of this tutorial, we are making use of SES, that is the SES in the sandbox version. So if you want to use a particular email, right, the email that I'm entering, if I want to receive email on a particular email address using this SES, what you have to do is you have to verify this email. So I have to ensure that this email address that I'm passing here is verified. So we will quickly do that. So let me just search for SES, and then in SES, I'm going to ensure that I have this email address verified as an identity. So if you come in here, this is the email address I entered. I've already verified that. But if you don't have your email address verified for your account and then you want to do it, you just come to SES identity, and then you create an identity. You select email, and then you put your email in there. Once you click on create an identity, it will send you an email, and then the email will require you to click on the link to verify. It's pretty much straightforward. Let me try and see if I'll get you the link that I got while I was trying to verify this thing. Email. Let me try and show you that also. Good, correct. So the email looks something similar to this. So once you click on it, it will show you a congratulations message, and then it will indicate on the system that your email is verified. So that's pretty much it. So now that we have that set up, and then we set up our email address and everything for our Lambda code and our environment variables, what I'm going to do now is to proceed to set an event-driven something between our S3 buckets and then our Lambda function, right?